Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Amma Clothing. Please like, subscribe and share so when I drop a new video you'll be notified. So in this video we'll be learning how to make a overlap dress, a puff sleeve using elastic with a gather gown. So we'll be learning how to make the gather, the puff and the overlap at the front. So I start off by measuring my clothes. 36 is 1 yard, then I have 2 yards. Basically I have 1.5 inch, that is 2.5. Then I'm going to cut the gather now. I'm starting off by cutting the gather. This video is to learn how to cut. I will drop a link on how to sew. I don't want the video to be too long, so I'm just going to share how to cut these gathers, the sleeve and the front and the back, that is the overlap and the straight back. So this is me trying to arrange the gather. I folded it into 4 parts, trying to arrange the side to be firm. So the measurement for this down part of this gather is 18. Then I'm going to add my sewing allowance. I'm adding 1.5 for sewing allowance. That is, I'm going to fold 1 down, then half for the sewing. So I'm chalking 19.5. 18 plus 1 is 19, then half, that is 19.5. So what I'm chalking now is 19.5. I'm going to get a straight line from the 19.5. You can see my color yellow chalk, that is 19.5. Then I'm going to chalk it straight. So I'll cut now. He's been trying to cut the gather part, that is the down part of the gown. So I've cut the down part, which is the gather part. So we're on to the next one. I want to cut the up part, that is the back. I'm cutting the back now. So the length of the back is the length for the back is 17. What I'm doing now, I'm trying to get my armhole. My bust is 34. So for bust 34, we are using armhole 7. My armhole is 7. I've chalked the vertical line for the armhole. So I want to get the zip allowance. I'm using 1.5 for the zip allowance. 1.5 inches for the zip allowance. I folded my fabric into 2 parts already. So this is the zipper allowance. Zipper allowance is 1.5. What I'm trying to get. You can see me chalking 1.5 down. This straight line I'm going to use for the zipper part. So I'm chalking it 1.5. That is for the zipper allowance. So I've gotten my armhole, but my armhole is 7. Then I'm trying to get my shoulder now. Shoulder 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So I'm going to get 7. I'm going to 7. So I'll take it down to the 7 inch I mark for the zipper allowance. So that is the vertical line. That's what 7 is going to be. So this line I just chalked now is for the zipper allowance, 7 inch. Trying to get my 7 inch way. So where the armhole stop is where my bust is going to be. My bust is 34. 34 divided by 4, that is 8.5. Then the waist is 27. 27 divided by 4, so we're getting 6.5 with quarter. That is 6.5 and 2 inch. That's what I'm getting for the waist. And for the waist, I'm adding, for the seam allowance, I'm adding 1.5. Then for the I'm adding 1 inch. So for the bust, I've got my 8.5 plus my 1.5 for sewing. Same thing I do is to the waist. The waist I got 6.5 and 2 inch. Then I added my 1.5 sewing allowance. Then I added my 1 inch dart allowance. For the bust, I got 8.5 plus my 8.5 plus my 1.5 seam allowance. So I've got my shoulder to the armhole, I've got my bust, then my waist. I'm checking my waist, it's like there's a little confusion there. I didn't add sewing allowance, so I'm going to add my 1.5 for sewing allowance now, and I will recheck it. So I'm going to recheck it because I just added my 1.5 for sewing allowance. So that is 1.5 for zip allowance. For this zipper part, I'm checking 1.5. This 1.5 is called grading. I'm going to grade it to that point. That point I mark for that. I got the measurement, the dart 1 inch, then the 1.5 or so. I'm going to put it to that 1 inch. This is what we call grading. If you don't want your clothes to have bump, do this grading. From the zipper part, you chalk 1.5, then you grade it, slant it to the after your allowance, after your measurements, then the that place, not to the allowance for 1.5, to that place, just grade it in. So I'm cutting this first now. I've not chalked my neck, so that notching is for the zipper part. Then this is my dart. For the dart, I got 3.5 inch for the dart. That is 3 into 2 is 6. Then the half inch is for the sewing. So I got 3.5 inch for the dart. I've notched it. So by the time we move 3.5 inch off, you come back to 3. So 3 plus 3. No, the back is further into 2. So you're going to go up by 6. So for the neck, I got 3 inch width for the neck, then 1 inch depth. The width is 3, then the depth is 1 inch. So this is the back. I'm going to cut the neck, and I'll slant it back to the tray. Then I'm slanting the shoulder by 1/2 inch. Now I'm going back to the grading. I haven't cut it out, so from the 1.5 I've cut it, the way I'm slanting my hand. Then I'm coming back to the down part. So this is slanting, you can see. I just want you to get back the notching. So I'm notching back the zipper allowance, and I'm going to notch my dart allowance. Then I will divide my fabric into 2. That is for the back. I'm going to divide it. I'm just going in, like giving it a little bit shape. Then I will slant the back. I'll divide it into 2. So I've slit it, but done for the back. This chiffon is not going to, this is a chiffon material, it won't have any lining. So onto the front, the shoulder to underbust is 14, but I'm going to make it 15 because of the 1 inch seam allowance. I'm going to hold the shoulder 1/2 inch, then the waist 1/2 inch. So 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. So 14 plus 1 is 15. I'm going to chalk 15 for the length of the front. The complete of the down part, it will have a band. So 14 plus 3 is going to be 17. So the band will be 3 inch. So this is me chalking the 14 inch. I've chalked 15, sorry. So I'm going to use the back to get the front. Remember, the front is an overlap. That means it's going to enter in between. Overlap is a V-neck. So this is the back. I've placed the back on the fabric. Remember, I divided the fabric into 2. I've placed the back on the fabric. Then I'm going to measure the back. I'm going to make it 15. Yes, from the shoulder I'm going to chalk 15. This is me chalking it. So I want to make sure it's accurate. You see it's going to have remainings because this back, remember, is 17 inch. So this is the side. I'm getting the armhole for the side. So the allowance that we're going to be adding, the allowance will be at the neck side. Don't know if you can see where I'm adding 2-inch allowance from that zipper part. This is the back, so the allowance will be at that zipper part. You know the zipper part is the neck side, so where the neck is, not the armhole. We are not going to get the allowance from the armhole. We are going to get the allowance from the zipper, part. Yes, that is the neck part. So I've already traced the shoulder. I've already make it slant. Remember, we have added 1.5 inch for the sewing allowance. Then I added more 3 inch. So our allowance together for the shaping, for the front part, the overlapping part. So 3 inch plus 1.5, that is 4.5 inch. So you can see that I've cut the armhole, I've cut the shoulder, but I'm not going to cut the neck. I'm not going to trace the neck from the back. From the shoulder, I will slant it. I'm going to, you see me when I chop this straight down. So from this part, this is the color yellow check. You can see it. So I'm going to cut straight, like slant, like a V shape, from the allowance straight to the shoulder. There is no neck for this one. What I'm cutting now is the neck already. So you can see how it's coming out. That this is it. So if this one entered in this, we have got our overlap, we've got our V neck. This is basically what I'm trying to explain. Once it enters, because of the allowance we leave in between, so it's going to lap. That's called overlap. So you can add more allowance to yours if you want it to enter well. So I've cut 2 more, that is 4. I'm going to use 1 to line in 1. Now what I want to cut now is my band, my 3-inch band for the waist after the underbust. So the 3-inch band, I'm going to add 1 inch allowance, that is 4 inch. The 4 inch, that is sewing for the from the underbust, then sewing from the waist. So by the time I take half inch off, it's going to come back to 3 inch. So I've got my 4 inch. My waist is 27. I've already done my measurements, so I'm just going to cut it out. I'm cutting it by 2, so I'll use 1 to line. I'm going to fix my stay at one part. I'm using a collar stay, so I'll fix my stay now. So I'm going to fix my stay at one part, then I'm going to sew on it. So I'm done with my band. I'm dividing it into 2. So this is the band. Then on to the gather part. It was not enough. I did 2.5 inch. I did like it won't be full enough, so I'm cutting more from the remaining of our fabric. So I'm cutting more. So we're going to join it to the gather part. Before we fix the gather, we'll join it so it will be more full. So that's just it. So we're coming to the sleeve. So I've cut the block out. For the sleeve length, I got 12.5. This sleeve does not have any serious measurement because it's a puff hand, it's a puff sleeve. So we just chuck it down, just slant it, make sure it goes down enough. So if you want your puff to be full, but for the down part, I'm getting 5. Yeah, I'm getting 5 because I want it to be down. If I don't want it to be very full, I'll take it high. So this is just slants it. It's just a slant. So all these slanted places, the puff, it depends on how full you want your puff to be. If you want your puff to be more full, you make it more than 12.5. You can make it 15 or 16. So by the time you slant it more down, the puff will be more fuller. So that's just it. There's no serious measurement for this sleeve part. Then the down part, I make it 5. So from the 5, I'm going to take off my 1.5 inch for to fix my elastic, because this sleeve is going to have an elastic at the down, puff at the top, then elastic at the down. So you can see that I'm slanting to get my sleeve. So this is just basically then the notching. This is our sleeve. So I'm going to show you how to sew this clothes, the sleeve, the guard, how to fix garter, how to sew the overlap and everything in the next video. So share, like and subscribe to get notified when I'm posting the next video. Thank you for watching. These are my clothing. Please share. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll be sharing how to sew this dress in my next video.